Hi, I'm Jan Doyle. Welcome to Wyse Talk. Today is going to be an absolutely terrific program where I'm surrounded by these gorgeous quilts from a guild that you're going to learn all about. I'd like to welcome Tammy Anderson to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jan.
I'm so glad you're here. And Tammy, you're chairperson of the Greater Hartford Quilt Guild show. And so that's part of the Greater Hartford Quilt Guild.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
We have 11 chapters throughout the Greater Hartford area that meet individually for monthly meetings, and then throughout the year we get together for a few events, all of us together.
So it's individual guilds that are joined together by a larger organization. What is the purpose of that? Because I belong to a couple of guilds, and we don't do that. What is the purpose of that?
Originally, Greater Hartford Quilt Guild had 700-800 members way back in the day. Started roughly 30 years ago. And it was a way for quilters to come together to share their ideas, what they're working on, but yet on a local level they can get together a lot more easy because it's such a wide area. It's easier to get together in smaller groups.
That's true. And before we get into more about that, I want to talk about the quilt that's on your table that you're sitting at. This quilt is absolutely magnificent.
Thank you.
And I understand you won Best in Show.
One of the best in shows.
One of the best in show. And I sincerely hope I don't steal this from you. It is so beautiful.
I hope you don't either.
I sincerely hope it is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about this quilt.
This is Sylvia's Bridal Sampler.
Now, what do you mean, Sylvia's Bridal Sampler?
There's a book series with Sylvia and her gang. I really don't even remember too much of it now, but it's a book series from Jennifer Cheverani, maybe?
Oh, yes.
And so one of the books, she was getting married, and all of her friends sent in blocks. So, and then her local friends put it together. And so it's 140 blocks. So I started this class at Yankee Quilter.
That's in Wallingford, isn't it?
No, Yankee Quilter in Seymour.
In Seymour, okay.
Yep. So I started that. It took 9 years to complete. So however, it's been done for a couple years now. So.
Now, I think this is so interesting, and I think the public, if they're not a quilter, they don't understand. First of all, it was a class, and I have to really commend you on your stick-to-itiveness. 9 years. I wasn't even married for 9 years.
I dropped it off for a while, just couldn't do it anymore. But then friends pushed me to.
Because it's magnificent.
Thank you.
And it deserves Best in Show. It also deserves to be in my home, but I'm just saying. Okay, keep your quilt. But I just absolutely love it. Now, I understand. What else happens at the annual gathering? You have something called annual gathering.
Yes, the annual gathering is where we meet for a short business meeting. We usually have a speaker. This year, our speaker is going to be Kate Themmel.
Oh, Kate is a phenomenal artist,
and she's coming in. I believe she's doing a couple lectures throughout the day, but there'll be raffle quilts. Raffle baskets, vendors. They'll have one raffle quilt that I know of, and it's just basically a time for us to get together and share ideas and just have a good time catching up. And
that sounds wonderful. I have the opportunity to know Kate personally, and your members, if they don't know her, are going to be wowed by her.
Looking forward to
She
it.
is absolutely terrific. Now, about how many people attend this day in October?
Probably about 180 or so.
Is it just women?
In our group, I believe we have one man that I know of who is a fabulous quilter that I met at our retreat last year. I'm not sure if there's any more, but he's the only one that I know of. So.
Okay, is single, rich?
No, he's married.
You know what? I hate married men.
His wife is in the group with us as well.
Okay, good.
And they're both very talented and a lot of fun to be around.
One of a really famous quilter that everyone knows about, and I absolutely adore him, is Ricky Timms. And he is a phenomenal quilter, and he does, he's also a guitarist, acoustic guitarist, and so many quilters have many different interests, but that's nice to know that there are some men there. Now, I also understand you have something called Sharing Day in April. Could you tell me about what that's about?
Sharing Day is when the 11 chapters get together, and they show what they've been working on for the previous year. Maybe their individual groups have worked on challenges or group projects. And in the past, they've had a raffle quilt. And it's basically just for 3 short hours for us just to get together and share ideas on what we've been doing. One year, I dyed a piece of fabric on shaving cream and just put the color on the shaving cream, put my fabric. It was fabulous. It was just neat.
Yes, that reminds me of I think we did those projects in elementary school in the earlier grades. That's just, I know they did stuff with shaving cream.
I was just as excited.
Yeah, well, you know what? We all are kids. We all are kids, and we also, I used to love this when I was a teacher, and we used to color. Well, there's projects out there now for quilting and coloring, and it's like, yes, my days are not limited to just being in the classroom coloring.
My frog.
Oh, tell me about your frog.
This was in my group in Vernon. We had a guest speaker, Lori Diaponte, and she... I'm
going to wait till this gets onto the... I'm looking for it to get on the... Oh, there it is. Okay, go ahead.
And she had that picture, and she let me take a copy of it, and I painted it with ink pens.
Yes, and
water, and...
Yes, I'm just learning about that. I'm so excited because one of my favorite times, not so much in my last 10, 15 years of teaching because everything was so goal-oriented, but in the early days of teaching, with the children, we used to sit in groups, color, do art, and talk. And that was the time you learned a lot about children. And I'm thinking now, it was like, with the little mini quilt guild. And it's the coloring that we all loved. And I'm getting back to my youth. So that's nice. And what do you plan on doing with this piece?
I'm going to make a little picture out of it. His name is Leopold. And
oh, he has a name.
Yes, he does.
Oh, that's cute.
So he needs to get finished at some point.
Yeah, well, you bring up a good point that I used to think it was just unique to me, but quilters have
UFOs.
And what is a UFO?
Unfinished projects that we've been working on and put aside because something else comes and tickles our fancy a little bit more.
Yes, and it's not uncommon.
No.
And I also understood, I met someone today that has a storage room 8 feet by 6 feet deep by, I forgot the other measurement, filled with her fabric stash.
Oh my.
And that's a lot of fabric. I asked her if I could have keys to it. And I was invited to her house with another small group of people, and I just can't wait to see the fabric because quilters just love touching fabric.
Petting it, yes.
Petting it. We love doing it. And we don't even have to make anything.
No. I just go into a quilt shop and just feel the fabric.
Yeah, that's and I don't think other people understand that.
No.
It's like we just go in and touch. So now at Sharing Day, I understand that different guilds have little projects for you.
Yes, some of the guilds provide handouts. So you might get 3 or 4. Some of them just give out directions for a little project they've been working on. But over time, I've collected little projects that you can put together at home.
I have in front of me, this is a scissor holder kit. And what I'm also borrowing from you, because you have no choice, you have to say yes, is it's a little kit to make a wine holder glass that you're going to illuminate. And it's so easy. I absolutely love it. And I'm also borrowing how to make a quilted postcard. And I am going to return those. You are going to know that. I do return the things, so you know that. And over here, I still haven't quite figured what is this one?
That's for a folded ornament, folded fabric ornament.
Oh.
I haven't really checked it out, so I don't know
quite what it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I get that. And but isn't it nice to know that you have these things in case of an emergency?
Yes.
And then really, it's nice to know.
When you run out of projects?
Yeah.
Never.
But it's so nice they're there. And then over here, you have something that's called an easy fabric basket. Oh, I've seen this one.
Yes. Yep. That one's made. That's in my medicine cabinet. I should have brought it. That's
yes,
like one of the only projects that I made.
An easy, these are great directions, by the way. Can I add that to my stash of directions?
Sure.
Easy. I've seen this one, and thank you so much. This little pile over here is going home with me tonight. I have her address, so I'm going to send them to her, so I won't lose them. I'm just going to Xerox them. So it's really cool for other guilds who might come across things to share with other members. I do remember people sharing directions to make a luggage tag.
Yes.
And my friend is in a guild, and they made nail file holders. And these are just nice little doodads, I like to call them, to have. So It's really cool. Now, if someone wanted to join the Greater Hartford Quilt Guild, do you have to be a member of those 11 guilds?
No, you can be a member of one of the guilds, or you can be an independent.
Now that's really interesting. How do you go about being an independent member?
If you go onto our website, ghqg.org, and you go into the membership section, click on the membership tab. There you can print out an application to fill out, and you can either choose one of the guilds, one of the 11 chapters, or you can choose to be an independent. So the independent gets you 4 quarterly newsletters, basting lines, and access to all the different programs that we do as a group. And then in those quarterly newsletters, there's information as to what each of the guilds is doing. So if you would like to join one of their monthly meetings or something, usually there's a guest charge of $5, and you can meet people that way and just do it, a little at a time instead of being involved with one guild.
Well, I think that's a terrific way. I used to be involved with one particular guild, but I joined other guilds that are closer to me, and I just let that membership go. And through you, I realized, thank God, I can be an independent. And so I took an independent membership out, and I'm really glad I did. I'm hoping I can go to the event in October. What day is that in October?
Oh.
It's not October 20th, I hope.
I'm not
I hope it's not, because I'm teaching that day.
I'm not sure. I didn't have it.
But if it is, change it for me.
Okay. I'll get right on
that.
Yeah,
okay. So I love all the doodads, and I love your work. Now over here, you have something, that was April, and we talked about the membership. Tell me a little bit about some of the speakers that you've had in the past. You have a quilt behind you. Who was that speaker?
This was Rob Appell. We had for spring lecture, and that was in I think March or April. So this is a quilt that from a pattern that he had, that a bunch of us had done from a retreat that we had a couple years ago. So then when Rob came to speak, we brought some of these with us to show him that we've been fans of his for a while.
Oh, how cool is that? Yeah. And so everyone picked their own colors.
Yes.
And so none of the quilts really looked that much alike.
No.
Now, how does that happen? You have the same pattern, you're using fabric. Why are they all different?
I think that's where the individual puts their own flair on it. when they find fabric that really touches them and moves them, and they can make that pattern their own. Yes, you can go and you could buy a kit and you can make the same pattern, and you make it look exactly like it. But I know of a lot of friends of mine that they like a particular pattern, but yet they want to make it their own. They want to add their own fabric, their own
color.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that I think you and I tend to like the same colors. I love purples and blues and teals, and that's purples and blues and teals. So very, very nice. Now the one hanging right next to you, golly, who made this particular piece?
That's you, Jan.
That's me.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And this is called thread painting. It's based on one of my photographs that was printed on fabric. I call it Butterfly and Blooms. And you pointed out to me that on the camera, it looks 3D.
He's sitting right there with us.
Wow.
Yes, it's amazing.
I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this.
Will you consider teaching others to do it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm working on that right now. And I love, and the one thing I really love about this is that this is called the process is free motion quilting, but you don't have to be any good at free motion to do this. Because and the reason why I say that is because I wasn't when I started, and it's basically really, it's so incredibly easy.
Are you doing it on your regular domestic machine or on a long arm?
A domestic machine. I don't have a long arm. I have long arm jealousy.
Yes, me too.
Long arm envy. But I have it on a domestic, and my director just said, "Well, how does that go again?" But it's so, you don't have to be any good. And I love, and what happens is the quilt just talks to me. They talk to me, and it says how it wants to be quilted. That's what happened. I have conversations with my quilts.
You're not the only one.
I'm not? Okay. No. So I love that. Thank you for commenting on that.
I hope that means that we're normal.
Yeah, I hope. And if we're not.
In our world, anyways.
That's right. We're normal in our world. Now this one is beautiful too. What is this one?
That's just a pattern that I saw in a magazine, and I made it my own colors, what I wanted. I like the Amish quilts that use a lot of black.
Yes,
I think the black really pushes those colors out. So that was my first one with trying it with the black, and I just love it. It speaks to me.
It does. It speaks to me too. It speaks to me right into my car, speaking to me. I don't want you to get scared, but that's how. But I want to ask you now. I love this fabric. Is this a batik?
Yes.
And I want to ask you about the process. Do you go and what comes first, the pattern or the fabric?
The pattern.
The pattern comes first, and then you go buy the fabric.
Well, I have quite a big stash. So.
Yeah. So, and why do you have a big stash of fabric?
Because I think I'm addicted to fabric.
We're addicted to fabric.
Yes. I just came back from Texas, and on the way down, I had to stop at Hancock's of Paducah.
Oh, absolutely.
I just had to make a stop there. So when my husband and my dogs were in the parking lot hanging out, I was shopping.
Oh, what a good husband.
Yes.
What a good doggy, you know? So you have to, and so I think for me it depends. I have some fabric I bought that I absolutely love, and something's come up where I'm going to make a jacket out of it. And I didn't plan on that, but now I'm going to make a jacket out of it. And it's cat fabric, and it's great fabric. Wait till I show you.
Oh, I can't wait.
But this is gorgeous. Now, and when I looked at, and it's interesting, we tend to have the same likes and dislikes, or same likes in fabric. Now, over here, right here on my table, what is this on my table?
That is a sampler quilt that I did with Close to Home in Glastonbury. Mm-hmm. And it's 12 blocks, and then I made up the medallion in the middle and set it up, and that's it. But it's totally different from the batiks or the batiks over there, batiks here. That's where a lot of my interest goes into the batiks. But I love that quilt too because I just love the way that it looks.
Yes, yeah, we don't show favorites to the children.
No.
Now this quilt is very, very personable. I'm not saying the right word. Very, very close to your heart is a better way of saying it. Tell me about this quilt.
I made that quilt for, excuse me, for my brother-in-law who lived in Texas, and so I wanted to incorporate a lot of things that normally you think of when you think of Texas.
Cowboy hats.
Yeah, and then on the back.
On the back?
The back of the quilt here. His favorite team was Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
so I put that fabric on the back.
Cool.
So we were on vacation, and I laid that on his bed, and he walked in, walked right by it, didn't even say a thing, went out and watched TV, and I'm like, really? I made this quilt for you, and he's like, oh, I didn't even know it. I just thought it was part of the scenery.
The hotel, you were in a hotel?
Yep.
And he thought the hotel did this?
Yeah.
I would have slapped him 5 or 6 times.
But I know that he since he got it, he was wrapped around it all the time. It was on his couch. You know, whenever we were FaceTiming or anything, he was wrapped around it.
The fabrics are fabulous, and now this is what quilters do. I'm noticing, like, were you able to buy this all in one stop?
No,
because you have what is it, buckaroo and cowboy hats and those green
long search for
yeah. So if someone wants to do a favorite quilt, someone's interest, then you have to do fabric shops.
Yes, a lot of the local shops carry what is favorable for the area. So a lot of times you have to go outward and shop online, which I got a lot of those fabrics from southern states.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful quilt. It's an absolutely beautiful quilt.
Thank you.
And thank you for pointing out the back. Now this one is interesting. Is this Rob's again?
No, that is a class that we took with, oh my, I can't think of it.
It's reverse applique?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's the fabric is underneath it, and then the black is put on top, and then you sew a design, and then you cut away the fabric.
Excuse me, another guest of mine started doing it that way and decided she didn't like doing that, so I forgot exactly what she did. But it was really interesting.
I think she added different colored fabric to different sections.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Did you watch that episode?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, because I'm thinking, and I know her very well,
and
Kathy.
that was Rob Appell. She
yes,
learned that
it
from
was. Yes, what exactly? So she added different colors to it?
She had different flowers and a butterfly, and they were all using with different colored fabrics in the background.
Okay, now this is embarrassing because if Kathy watches this, I don't remember exactly what she did, but Kathy, I still loved your...
I just cheated and watched it
she
today.
Just cheated it. Now over here, I love this. I absolutely love this. Tell me about this.
That is, it was a monthly assignment from an art group that I'm in through Greater Hartford. It's a separate group. And that monthly challenge was texture. So that's the different texture that I
So they
use.
just said to you texture, and you had to come up with something? Oh, that's a little harder than I thought.
No, it is.
Yes, it is. Because I don't know if I'm looking for my pen. I don't think people can see this, but do you have a pen?
I do.
Because when you look at this, these are all individual leaves that are put on. Did you paste them on?
They're with fusible.
Fusible. This is suede. This is
flannel.
Flannel. There's a lot of work in this, and I don't think you get the feeling of this from the TV set. Was this fabric that was already?
Yes.
It looks like Joanne's fabric, actually.
Oh, I don't know. A friend gave that to me.
Okay, because I shop everywhere, and
you have to.
You have to. And I love what you did. You did some thread painting yourself. I don't know if you know this, but you're not supposed to do any thread painting because I'm supposed to be the one who does it.
Oh, sorry. That was just like, it wasn't thread painting as much as it was just tacking it all
Oh,
down.
okay, good. That's a much better answer. And then I love this one. Tell me a little bit about this one.
The monthly idea was winter.
And I know you can't see it, so I'm going to turn it around. She has little snowmen that are playing out in the back. But this is just beautiful. You are extremely creative. I thought they led you more. I don't think I ever would have come up with something like this for texture or winter. You are extremely creative.
Thank you, but no.
Yes, you are.
If you saw what the other people do in the class, I'm like way behind.
Oh, no, you're not. No,
thank you.
No, you're not. So we don't have that much time left. How would someone, just repeat for me, how would someone learn about the different guilds in the greater? What are some of the names of the guilds? Do you remember?
I can come up with them. I think we have a group in Berlin, Newington, Wallingford. There's 2 groups that are in West Hartford. One's in Windsor, another one in Enfield, and then we have Vernon and Ellington and Stafford, and then Apple Valley and Southington.
I'm impressed. Did you practice that last night?
And I lost Apple Valley, so it just like came to me at the end.
Oh, good. And that was kind of putting you on the spot. And you don't have to be a member of any of these. Like, I don't live in that area. I live in southern southern Connecticut, and I'm still an independent member, and I still can enjoy your activities that you have for both of them, which I'm going to try to attend this year.
I hope so.
What is your email? What is your website for the Greater Hartford?
ghqg.org.
And do you have a website for your own? Do you have a website for your own work or not?
No.
No, you might want to consider doing that. So if you have any questions that you would like Tammy to answer, if you get on our website at
ghqg.org.
You can. Is there a contact sheet?
I believe there is.
You can contact her, and she can answer any of your questions. And if you forget that and you want to contact me, you can contact me at jmdteach@comcast.net. And if you forget that, you can always contact the absolute fantastic BCTV show. And because the two guys that I work with behind the camera in the director's room, Doug and Rob, are fabulous, and Noah's working the camera over here, and we really appreciate it. They do terrific work so that we just get to sit here and talk.
Yes.
I mean, how sweet is that?
It is sweet.
So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jan, for having me. Make this a great opportunity.
Wonderful. Now let's go back.